Oh, pleasure to meet you.
Sorry to meet you, Anderson.
Nope, no problem.
1042.
August 31st, 2002, 11 units of Washington Metropolitan Police, D.C. received a report from a woman. She said her neighbor was holding an automatic gun and standing on the balcony. The man was later identified as George Washington, 34 years old. Following the woman's directions, multiple officers arrived at the suspect's apartment. Fearing a dangerous situation, they came fully prepared. An officer with a riot shield moved forward to knock on the door.
Hello? Hey, it's the police. We're just trying to check on someone. Can you open the door? We just need to talk to you real fast. What's your name? Sergeant Nelson. We're just trying to see what's going on tonight. Huh? Oh, are you in need of any assistance or anything?
Even though the officers clearly identified themselves and remained polite, the man was still very agitated and resistant. In a country where many have been tricked by fake police officers, refusing to open the door without a warrant is a legitimate right.
Hey, what's up? Huh? Who's come out here? Sorry? Alright.
Who's coming up to my door talking about this?
The man began to question the officers aggressively. The officers were unsure how to respond. He kept repeating,
Who's knocking on my door? Why the jump me out here? The steps. Bitch in the pink talking about the people jumping coming across the street. Bitch got guns on me. Don't shoot him with a riot shield. Don't shoot.
What's going on, Ted?
I don't know what's going on with you. Who's that bitch in the pink?
Hold on for a second.
Clearly, he suspected. The woman in the pink shirt was the one who called the police. His speech became erratic, showing signs of mental instability. The officers decided not to interrupt, just hoping he would calm down. One of them tried to say something.
If we come in and just...
No, you cannot come in. No, you cannot come in.
So what's going
No,
on?
you cannot come in. I said, who's...
No one expected. What bothered him most was the identity of the caller.
Definitely mental health consumer. Couldn't see inside. He went back inside and slammed the door after feeling something about.
Just as the officers reported the incident to dispatch, the door suddenly opened. The man shouted angrily, then slammed the door again. But this time, he held the automatic gun he had previously brought out on the balcony and pointed it directly at the officers. The situation quickly escalated into a tense gunfight. After ensuring the apartment was secure, the police quickly entered. They immediately began first aid on Josh, who had been shot in the chest. The fire department rushed him to the hospital. However, despite emergency care, Josh did not survive. The gun in his hand was confirmed to be a replica airsoft gun. Following the incident, George's family sued the police. They argued that the officers on scene had noticed he was showing signs of mental distress and should have called a mental health crisis team, instead of forcing entry into his home. In this case, only one officer fired his weapon, Sergeant Jonathan Nelson, a veteran who had served 12 years in the police force, was then placed on paid administrative leave. A few months later, the prosecutor's office concluded that Nelson's use of force was within protocol, and he faced no criminal charges.
He's the colonel you want to
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
Sorry to meet you, Anderson.
Nope, no problem.
The next story takes us to October 12, 2019 in Yavapai County, Arizona, where police were patrolling the highway when they spotted a brand new Range Rover speeding and changing lanes without signaling. They immediately activated their lights and ordered the driver to stop. The bodycam footage captured the entire encounter.
Gone. Deputy with the sheriff's office. The reason I stopped you is you guys going about over 90 miles an hour, weaving through traffic, not using you guys' turn signals. Okay. Got your registration and insurance as well.
While the driver searched for his documents, the officer chatted with the woman in the passenger seat and unexpectedly heard something shocking.
Where you guys headed? Flagstaff. What's going on in Flagstaff?
We're doing a memorial hike.
Oh, yeah? Oh, well, I appreciate you guys doing that. It's the Flagstaff.
So it was actually my late cousin.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness.
At that moment, the woman mistakenly said DPF, but she actually meant the state's Department of Public Safety. DPS, Department of Public Safety. This agency includes units like the Department of Transportation, State Police, and Fire Services. The man in the driver's seat was Colonel Frank Bilstedt, the head of the agency. The woman with him was Angela Hero, his fiancée. From her words, it was clear Colonel Frank wasn't just a powerful figure, but also someone who cared deeply about fallen officers' families. Shortly afterward, he found his documents and handed them to the officer. While the officer returned to the patrol car to run a check, the two in the SUV called him back.
That'll help at all.
Maybe they were worried the officer hadn't realized his identity, so they showed his badge to confirm. Angela also emphasized,
Go pledge allegiance.
Sorry to meet you out of sector.
Nope, no problem.
After learning who the driver was, the officer returned to his patrol car to contact dispatch to verify information about Colonel Frank. After checking the documents, the officer went back to the Range Rover and returned them to the driver.
Here, guys, information back. Appreciate your time. It's a pleasure meeting you.
When he realized he wouldn't be fined, the tension inside Colonel Frank's car immediately eased, replaced by lightheartedness and relief. He even started a friendly conversation with the officer.
Sheriff actually is one of my favorite people.
What's that?
I love Scott Sheriff Master. He's one of my favorite guys.
Yeah, he's cool.
I was sitting thinking, well, this guy's about to write me a ticket. I was dumbass. I was going too fast. I got a ticket.
Though Colonel Frank sounded humorous, if the officer had written a ticket, he might have had to worry about possible consequences later. Perhaps the officer quickly and tactfully explained.
No worries, I'm just educating, just kind of, it's purpose of the stop, just educating people, But,
What's your name?
it's Cody Winton.
I'm Cody Plainville. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Nice to meet you. All right, you guys drive safe, okay? Thank you.
In the state of Arizona, speeding could be considered a Class B misdemeanor, not just a simple civil traffic violation. The fine could reach up to $500 with 1 year of probation or even up to 30 days in jail. However, in the end, Colonel Frank was not penalized, and this wasn't the first time he avoided consequences. Back in 2011, he once drove a convertible Porsche and caused a serious traffic accident. Surprisingly, the police dispatch logs at the time were missing over 40 pages. There were no photos of the scene, and no witnesses either. In the end, the incident quietly faded away with no clear conclusion. In another case, around 3 p.m. on March 16, 2014, in the Chinese community of Flushing, New York, an elderly Chinese woman was caught illegally street vending. A Chinese-American officer and 2 female colleagues warned her and issued her a citation with a fine of $2. While the 3 officers quickly confiscated her goods, the elderly woman could only stare in silence. Suddenly, she lost control of her emotions and tore up the ticket right in front of the officers. This act stunned both bystanders and the police. Even though they were from the same background, the Chinese-American officer followed protocol strictly. Meanwhile, one of the female officers appeared stern. The Chinese-American officer next to her stayed silent. Just 2 minutes later, the elderly woman not only ignored him, but also lashed out, calling people dogs. Such behavior is considered illegal defiance in the U.S., and police have the right to arrest. Yet the Chinese-American officer remained restrained. turned out, he had warned the elderly woman many times before without issuing fines, but she kept ignoring him. In the end, she lost her goods and still got fined. When the elderly woman still refused to take the citation, a female officer tucked it into her pocket, then walked away with her team. A nearby Chinese resident shook his head and said, After the incident, we learned that the Chinese community in the US still faces many challenges in their daily lives. The elderly woman in the story is just one of countless Chinese struggling to make ends meet in a foreign land. In terms of employment, the stable employment rate among Chinese Americans is relatively low, forcing many to turn to street vending to survive. However, the challenges they face go beyond just making a living. In terms of integration, even though the Chinese community has made significant cultural contributions to America, they still face societal prejudice and discrimination. Additionally, the high cost of living and healthcare has become a heavy burden, forcing some elderly individuals to consider returning to their homeland for retirement. Despite all these difficulties, the Chinese population in the US still exceeds 7 million people, accounting for about 2.1% of the national population. They are spread across the country, mainly concentrated in developed states like California and New York. Today's story ends here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and follow. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Please like and follow to stay updated with more interesting stories.